what's the best nutrition to fuel the brain?
That is a good question. I feel like I need that too. I feel like everybody needs that probably. If you're an adult over the age of 24, you need that.
Yeah.
If you're legally allowed to rent a vehicle, you probably need this.
Need some ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo biloba. Yeah. Well, as far as fueling the brain, we kind of covered this in the carbs versus fats episode, where the brain runs well on carbohydrates. And I know some people who are ketogenic or in fan of the ketogenic diet believe that, you get a brain fog at first, but then they say that things are really sharp and they're really clear. I've never experienced that. I think if this comes down to if it works well for you, then sure, do it. But research shows that most individuals, most humans run well from a neurological perspective and a cognition perspective on about 130 grams of carbs daily at minimum.
Okay.
Right. Because carbs are the preferred source of energy. They fuel your brain. Now, how you get those carbs is up to you, and how you feel in your ideal state of where you feel most cognitive, where you feel sharpest is ideal. Now, that's strictly speaking to the diet, though. There are some supplementation protocols that I think can really help cognition. And so this might be helpful for you and for whoever asked this question. I think this was Tina.
Yeah.
Who I'm actually working with. So, hey, what's up, Tina? So some things from a supplementation standpoint that can help improve cognition and neurological capacity. One is very simple, and it's something that we recommend all the time to people who don't have any underlying kidney issues, is creatine. Creatine actually will help improve cognition. This has been shown in a number of different research studies in vegetarians, in elderly adults, even in sleep-deprived people. And essentially the way this works is creatine is broken down into creatine phosphate. And you remember our talk about adenosine triphosphate? Mm-hmm. Well, it's floating around in the body as adenosine diphosphate. Creatine phosphate is a phosphate. It can attach to that diphosphate, create ATP, the triphosphate bond, to be used as energy for anything, for muscular contractions, for neurological function. It's also been studied to improve symptoms in people who have suffered traumatic brain injuries. It's also been proven to reduce the onset of early onset of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. So it's really good for you. Creatine is a fantastic supplement. It's been proven time over time. I actually just posted about this in my story because someone posted this really good infographic on creatine. But that would be where I would start. As long as you have no underlying kidney conditions, I think everybody should be supplementing with creatine. My parents do. It's a great supplement. It's been studied for years. Other things, we'd be looking more into mushrooms. Not the kind of mushrooms you're thinking.
Oh,
not my kind of mushroom. No, mushrooms like lion's mane mushroom.
Yeah.
Or other like mushrooms Joe Rogan takes.
Right.
Well, he also takes psilocybin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But lion's mane mushroom, I'll never forget. When I came out of a surgery, I had my hernia surgery. And this is when I found out about lion's mane mushroom. I had some numbness and tingling that was going on around the surgical site, which was near my groin. And I was like, well, probably not my favorite thing.
It's not going to work for me.
It's not going to work for me, dog. It's going to be a no for me, dog. Have numbness and like lack of feeling around my groin. Pass.
Yeah.
So I was looking at ways to expedite the recovery process on that. And I came across lion's mane. If anybody is interested in learning about lion's mane or in learning about any mushrooms, I highly recommend following Paul Stamets or listening to the Paul Stamets Joe Rogan episodes. He is the mushroom master. I learned a lot from him. But anyway, I started taking lion's mane and it cleared up the lion's mane is for nerves and mental clarity.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful mushroom. Like if you see it in the forest, it looks like this like white, glorious lion's mane. It's really, really pretty. And so I started taking lion's mane. I was using the Host Defense brand, which is Paul Stamets' brand. My numbness and tingling cleared up within a week or two, but I kept taking it because what I noticed is I was so mentally sharp, where you and I used to talk about this. We used to get like brain farts or like micro sleeps where we'd be talking and having a conversation. Then all of a sudden you're like, what was I just saying? So if that's ever happened to you, I would highly recommend supplementing with lion's mane. I think it's a fantastic mushroom. It's really powerful. And yeah, I noticed that I wasn't having those micro sleeps or brain farts anymore. So I took that for quite a while. That would be another thing that I would recommend to anybody who's looking to increase their just cognition or neurological capacity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. And creatine, it's good to know that that's good for everybody. Cause I think a lot of people think that that's like a steroid.
You know, a lot of people do think it's a steroid. So if you take creatine, you will still be natty. I promise you, it is already in your body. It's in the meat that you eat. And I think that's part of why it helps in vegetarians specifically is a lot of people get creatine through red meat. Vegetarians obviously are not consuming red meat. And so they can supplement with it. But yeah, creatine is not just for people who are trying to get jacked.